Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. We generally like to talk a load of bollocks at tabletop gaming in general, and today we're going to be continuing our countdown of our top 100 board games of all time. We do this every year all the way through December, so if you don't like top 100s, then you may as well go and sit in a walk-in freezer, aren't you? So if you are new here, or even if you're not new here, if you haven't subscribed, do so, otherwise you're going to make me really angry. But we'll see you after this. So number 90 on this list is a game named after one of the most famous pirates that the UK has ever produced, and one of the most nasty bastards that the UK has ever produced. It's Francis Drake. This is a game by Peter Hawes, one of the most underrated designers that we know of. But in Francis Drake, you'll first be moving through the streets of Plymouth trying to gain resources, cannons and all that sort of shit. And then you will take your resources out onto the high seas and try and loot the Caribbean in the most imperialist way possible. You'll be doing this by fighting off the Spanish, trying to destroy their forts, and you might nick a few pineapples along the way, right? I love Francis Drake. Production of this is off the charts. Yeah, it's one of the most luxurious games that we have ever seen. Some people have a problem with the theme of this game, but I don't, because I don't give a fuck about anything. But I do give a fuck about how games play, and this one is an absolute underrated gem. So number 89, I'm losing my fucking mind, is Roads and Boats. This is a game by Splotter. Splotter have got a reputation for producing games that look like shit, but they actually play really, really well. Some people say Splotter is a massive government psyop, and I'm still on the fence about that. Yeah, maybe I am a victim of a mind control campaign, because I do actually enjoy Roads and Boats. This game has a unique property where you would put in this sort of PVC see-through sheet over the board, and you'll actually be drawing on the board with a dry erase pen. Also, it's the only game that I know of that has geese as a resource. Yeah, you'll be moving your cart and donkey around trying to get resources to different spots that will allow you to build more shit, and you'll also be able to contribute to this bizarre monument, which is similar to the one I've got in my basement. But yeah, Roads and Boats looks like completely utter dog shit, but it is actually one of the most strategic and most satisfying games that you can get, if you can get it, because it's always out of print, isn't it? So number 89 on this list is a game called Kingsburg. This is a dice-driven game. You'll be rolling 3 dice, and then you will be placing your dice out onto the board, trying to gain the influence of a courtly personality. You can split the dice up whichever way you want. If you choose low numbers, you'll be getting more actions, but they're not going to be as lucrative as the higher numbers, like the king, for instance, if you roll 18. Trying to get resources to build buildings that will give you special abilities. You've also got to watch out for the monsters that will be attacking you at certain portions during the game. Kingsburg is a fantastic dice-driven game. Recently come out with a second edition that incorporated the To Forge a Realm expansion, which if you have got the first edition, it's pretty much essential. But yeah, if you like these sort of dice-driven Machikoro style games, then Kingsburg is one of the best in it. Number 87 is a game by Friedman Freeze. It's probably his most popular and well-known game. It's Power Grid, yeah? In Power Grid, you will be bidding in an auction to gain control of different power stations that will convert different types of resources into energy. In order to do this, you have to link different cities together so that you can provide power through your stations, right? And the winner of the game is the one who has the most connected cities at the end, yeah? Power Grid is essentially a train game, but I'm glad that it isn't, because I fucking hate trains. I actually play a game that is a train game, but isn't a train game without me getting into a tiswas about trains. Yeah, one thing I don't like about Power Grid is that you have to section off one of the regions regardless of how many players you are playing it with, and that really pisses me off. But Power Grid is so good that I can forgive Friedman Freeze for that misstep, and if I ever meet him, I'll just cut off one of his toes instead of cutting off his bollocks. Number 86 on this list is a game called Heat Pedal to the Metal. This is a game that came out last year, and it's a card-driven racing game. Yeah, you'll be playing cards from your hand onto your engine to move your car forward. In doing so, you'll be generating heat cards that will go into your hand and clog up your deck, but you need to have these heat cards to boost your car forward and to do different things. One thing that I like about this game is that you've got a wealth of different variants in the box. You've got loads and loads of add-ons that you can put on your car to make it go faster. A bit like those Go Faster stripes that you used to put on your Ford Cortina in the 80s, right? And you can play a full 3-season game of this, yeah? Bringing your car into the different races as is. Does Heat break new ground? No, not really, but it is better than a lot of the other shit that is out there. We're just waiting for news of an expansion that's going to make use of those little slots in the box that don't have anything in. So yeah, Heat Pedal to the Metal. It's a really decent racing game, and you should check it out, shouldn't you? Number 85 on this list of our top 100 board games of all time is a game about the Cold War. No, it's not Twilight Struggle, you fucking muppet. It's Vindas Vul. In this game, one player will be taking on the role of the West, one player will be taking on the role of the East, and you'll both be trying to build factories and trying to destroy each other's factories, right? You'll be doing this by playing different cards that link directly to events that happened during the Cold War, and it's essentially a two-player game unless you get the 2+2 expansion. I do believe that the new printing has the 2+2 expansion baked in, which adds the USSR and the United States to the equation, right? So yeah, Vindas Vul is one of the greatest Cold War games ever made. Nobody ever speaks of this game. I've never heard anyone talk about it in high regard, but if you're interested in that era and you like these sort of Euro games, then it's a no-brainer, isn't it? You've got to go and get it. Number 84 is another game by Peter Hawes. It's Royals. This is essentially just a bunch of cubes on a map, yeah? You'll be placing your cubes on a map, trying to take control of different regions. And if you do so, you'll be able to use the influence of the different members of the court, yeah? This is a real backstabbing game because there's a mechanism in this game that lets you remove your opponent's cubes from the map, yeah? I suppose there's a little bit of wheeling and dealing going on in this game, and the fact that it's so simple, the fact that it is a stripped back area control game means it's really, really accessible. The rules are really, really simple, and when I'm not in the mood for one of these mind-bending, long drawn out games, then Royals does the fucking business. Number 83 is a game by Vladimir Sushi. It is Shipyard. This is essentially a bunch of rondels. You'll be going around the rondels. You'll be buying different parts for your ships, whether it's funnels or propellers, or maybe hiring crew to populate your ship. You will create your ship on your player board, and then you will send it out onto a blue ribbon race to show off the size of your penis to everybody else, yeah? First edition of Shipyard that we have up there looks like complete and utter dog shit. It's that horrible sort of murky brown liquid shit colour, but I think the second edition that's just been released, maybe it fixes that. I'm not entirely sure. Let's hope so, eh? But if you love rondels, yeah, Shipyard has them in spades, and it's just a fantastic Euro game experience if you like that sort of thing. Number 82 is a racing game called Powerboats. In this game, you'll be racing your powerboat around a load of water because powerboats don't have wheels, do they? You'll be rolling these weird three-sided dice, and at the beginning of your turn, you'll be able to choose how many dice you roll. But you'll have to live with the results, so you might end up driving straight into a fucking duck island. Powerboats is so simple. All you're going to be doing is rolling a few dice, moving, trying to avoid the pitfalls of pushing your luck too far. And as a roll and move racing game, this is one of the best, yeah? Not sure if it's available anymore, but it's a streamlined racing experience that doesn't outstay its welcome. And if you can find a copy of Powerboats, it comes highly recommended. So number 81 is one of the most infuriating games that we have ever played. It's Robinson Crusoe Adventures on the Cursed Island. We have only ever beaten this game once. I say that every year. It remains the same even this year. You'll be exploring the island. You'll be gathering resources that will allow you to build like palisades or help protect you from the elements, yeah? You'll also have to protect yourself against some roaming animals that will try and eat all your food and rip your fucking face off. One of the most enjoyable things about this game is the event decks. You'll be drawing a card and you'll get the option to defer the pain and suffering that the card will present to you, but you'll also get a better reward if you do so. You'll shuffle the card back in the deck and it will rear its ugly head at some point in the future, but you don't know when, yeah? Robinson Crusoe is an example of when Portal Games used to make stunning titles. Over the years, their offerings have seemed to become more and more disappointing. But this is like a beacon of hope, isn't it? Maybe Ignacy Trzewiczek will actually stop reprinting all of his previous successes, making people wait for 5 years for the deluxe editions of this. Maybe it'll just try and simplify his design process and recapture his past glory. But we live in hope, don't we? So there you go, that is the second instalment of our top 100 ball games of all time. There's only 8 to go. Will you be able to endure another 8 excruciatingly dull episodes like this one? I wager you won't, and you fuckers at the back certainly won't, right? Because you're weak. So remember, if you're new here, then consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button, all that YouTube bullshit. See you in the next video. All right.